Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Surviving Mars, here on the Wooden Otter. We are continuing our highlight reel format today, so keep up as we jump around our colony to catch all the important things happening. We've got a lot to cover in this episode, from upgrading our housing to recovering from a devastating dust storm. We've got our work cut out for us, so let's jump right into the deep end of the red planet with some Surviving Mars. Right off the bat, you'll notice that we're actually on Sol 75, whereas the last video left off on Sol 67. I must not have recorded the Sols in between those 2 days. Something happened with the recording. It'll shut off periodically, especially when you're recording for hours at a time. So I'm sure I recorded for 2 hours, it stopped, and then I had to restart it. In the meantime, off camera, in between 67 and 75, I upgraded my housing complex to a smart home complex, which really goes a long way towards helping the sanity of my colonists, because smart homes restore sanity as well as health when your people rest in them. So in order to have children, you need high sanity and comfort and health, obviously. So upgrading to a smart home complex is a big win for us here. And it's totally worth the electronics. Here you'll see also in between Sol 67 and 75, at some point I traded with the colony of India for polymers. I think I sent them metals. You'll see that we're up to 52 polymers at this point. So that's just one less thing I have to worry about. We're still unloading the rocket. We still have 21.6 polymers to unload, but hey, that's just one less thing on my plate I have to worry about. Don't need to worry about polymers for a very long time. So at this point, I decided to check in on my rocket and look for something to do with it. Take a look at the comm satellite and realize I don't have nearly enough electronics, obviously. And I eventually decide to settle on this anomaly that only takes 5 crew people and gets me some research advancement, which is obviously very important at this point since my base research is so low. So I'm working on my dome. A leak pops up, and I think, well, what could that be? So I go over to check it out, and oh, there's multiple leaks, and oh, there's a twister destroying my turbines. So I quickly jump on the valve and close it, so that way I'm not losing all my stored resources. And then I, know that twisters will knock out drones at the drop of a hat, so I try to save as many as I can, so I still have some drones to actually work on this problematic area. Without electricity, my drone controller briefly shuts down, and then the electrical leak causes my domes to turn off. I quickly pop the electrical switch so that way the domes can run off the batteries while I repair my turbines, and yeah, I just get back to work as quickly as I can. We got leaks to fix and electrical problems to work on, and turbines to get up and running. Unfortunately, that little twister cost me at least 2 mechanical parts and 1 electronic part, so yeah, no fun. At this point, I've recovered from the twister, and I'm looking at my dome. I see I've got a blank space in it, and I'm flush with polymers, so I think, what can I put there? A playground. Takes polymers and is maintained by polymers, so it's a very easy thing to plop down, and it will help all of my Martian-born new colonists, new babies, get beneficial perks. So that's great for me, and it looks like Elementa Lander is going to be the first beneficiary of that nice new park. So at this point, I'm so flush with plastics, I'm actually looking for other ways to spend it. I end up deciding on a battery. A battery will really help my colony get through those nights where the power grid's not looking too hot. You'll see I haven't yet researched the atomic accumulator, but that's also going to run on plastics, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I even take a look at my wind turbines to see if I want to upgrade to polymer blades sooner rather than later. I already have it on 2 out of the 3, and I'm thinking ahead that eventually when I have the power accumulator and some more solar panels, I'm not really going to want a third turbine, because that's another mechanical part in maintenance. So I actually don't upgrade the third turbine because I don't want to pay to maintain it with mechanical parts. So just a bit of thinking ahead. Speaking of thinking ahead, I get a rare metals export and earn some money, so I immediately decide to dump it all into machine parts and order a rocket from Earth with those resources that I sorely need. And check the price. I'm getting about 103.5 million. This is because of that event that actually made machine parts, advanced resources cheaper, because we're flooding the market with rare metals. It's an event where you can basically say, yeah, rare metals will be cheaper, but so will advanced resources. So I selected that as the outcome, knowing that I was going to get less money for my rare metals, but at the same time I'm getting more rare metals for my dollar. Sol 91 is where things really start to go down for my colony. I'm here just checking on my workers in my machine parts factory, seeing if we can actually get a positive flow of machine parts. You know, just maintaining my base when suddenly I get a leak detected, and I'm in the middle of an electromagnetic dust storm currently, and so of course my solar panels aren't working. I, of course, immediately shut off the power, and my base being at night, coupled with that lightning strike you just saw, drained my batteries pretty much instantly, as well as disable my turbines. So I've got no batteries, no solar, and no turbines, and of course my dome shut down. My domes go without life support, and I don't have any mechanical parts yet. They're actually sitting in orbit because shuttles can't land during a dust storm, so I'm sitting here kind of with no options. I don't really know what to do here, but all of my colonists start freezing because neither of my domes have any power, and I have no way of restoring power right now. Sanity starts to take a hit, obviously, because they don't like the dust storm, and they don't like freezing, and they don't like having a non-functioning residence. Non-functioning residence is like a -20 or -40 for these people, so it's real bad to have residences turned off by lack of electricity or really any reason. It's a terrible thing to have. So as soon as the dust storm ends, I quickly land my rocket as fast as I can, and send my workers to go restore power to my turbines. And there I go, checking my research for the atomic accumulator, hoping that will prevent this kind of thing from happening in the future. Just making sure that my turbines get their mechanical parts as quickly as possible is paramount right now, because I'm still negative in the power, and my domes are still off, which means people are still freezing. It's still it's still chipping away at my sanity. And of course, because I don't have any battery, my drone hub isn't working, so I have to manually force my workers to do their job, which is slowing down the whole process, of course. But once we get one turbine back up and running, we have positive power flow, the domes turn back on, and disaster averted for now. eventually the research is complete on the atomic accumulator, and I literally jump for joy. I immediately snap back to my domes and set about building it, because I know that by building this atomic accumulator, I'm going to have a lot easier time dealing with cold waves and when things like turbines break down. And I know that since I just finished a dust storm, the next thing that's going to hit my colony is probably a cold wave or a meteor storm. I can't do anything about meteor storms yet. Can't do anything about them. I don't have the research for the laser to shoot them down. But if it's a cold wave, I can absolutely, bridge that gap and keep my domes up and running through a cold wave, which is a big deal since I really can't afford to take another sanity loss like the one I had during that electromagnetic dust storm that took out my turbines. Got to avoid that. Alright guys, that'll have to be it for now. We've made a lot of progress in surviving Mars today. We upgraded our housing to a smart complex in order to increase the sanity gains for our colonists, improve their sanity. We traded with India for polymers, and now we're just flush with plastics. We spent some of those polymers on a park for our children to get some good Martian-born perks, and as well as building some batteries to really help out our electrical grid situation when dust storms come and our mechanical parts are not available to fix our wind turbines. Those batteries will help carry us over. As always, please like and subscribe below, as it really helps out the channel, and I would of course appreciate it. Stay tuned to see what the Red Planet has in store for us next time on The Wooden Otter. Peace.